welcome to Apex Reviews. Today we're going to be discussing our trip down to Miami for the F1 race. But no trip can start without first having an airport beer. We decided to stay at a local Hilton. They had a nice pool and we got one near a waterway, so boats were easy to spot. We weren't the only ones that were race enthusiasts. There were a few nice cars out in the parking lot, including this Lamborghini. But let's focus on the race. We decided to take an Uber, hoping to beat the traffic. We knew parking was going to be a mess. But to be honest, Uber was quite a mess too. What would normally take a 30-minute drive was about an hour. Here's a picture of all the people entering the gates. Once you got out of the Uber, it's not too bad. Traffic flowed pretty easily. The police were everywhere and they seemed to keep good control of the situation. We made the mistake of getting dropped off on the wrong side of the track, so pay attention when you're discussing where to drop off with your Uber driver. We did enjoy the walk from one end to the other, though. They had multiple exhibits for us to see, including this F1 Lego exhibit. They also had car clubs there. As part of this club, you can pay a fee and get the opportunity to drive these cars out on the track. That seemed pretty fun. But now let's focus on the F1 action. This was a practice day, Friday, before the big race. We selected one spot with some curves for practice and another spot for the straightaways during the race day. We were hoping to see some accidents here in these S-turns. You can see them drifting a little bit as they turn the corner. And there we go. Our first accident of the day. This driver got a little blippy with the gas and ended up sliding into the wall. It happened right in front of us, so that was fun to watch. It slowed the practice down by about 30 minutes, though, while they tried to pull him off the track. During the practice section, we had seats out in the sun. I'll be honest, the next time we go, we're definitely going to spring for the shade. Miami gets pretty hot in the summertime.
And with another strong showing for Williams, he's in fourth. Albon was in fifth. We didn't see push laps for Hamilton or Norris on your bike cars.
Next, we watched these big rigs do a few laps. I'll be honest, this race wasn't very much fun to watch. There wasn't much passing, they weren't going very fast, and they had trouble clipping the apexes. I'm assuming you can pay an exorbitant amount of money and actually sit in the back of these things and get a full tour. We weren't too interested in that. They did have a Porsche GT racing here over the same weekend. That was a lot of fun to watch. There was a lot of passing, and a lot of times they'd come around the turns 2 and 3 wide, which made it really exciting. These cars were even louder than the F1 cars. This was one of the qualifying races, still on Friday. Again, a lot of fun to watch. It's pretty neat to watch these cars come around these corners. Day 1 Friday included some practice and qualifying. I'd definitely go check it out again. There wasn't a whole lot of speed in this corner, so next time I'd probably pick a different corner. Day 2 shifted a little bit. It started raining. Again, we took an Uber, but this time we paid attention to where we were supposed to get off. The Uber was about an hour and 30 minutes. Traffic was absolutely horrible. We also sprung for the more expensive seats. Since it was raining and we were worried about the sun coming out, we went ahead and sat under the cover. This was well worth the money, and I definitely recommend doing it. The rain added a little bit of extra to the track. I definitely recommend watching racing in the rain. The cars came out for their formation laps. They immediately went back into the pits and changed their tires. The track was just way too wet. The race was delayed a little bit while they let the track dry out. But that was okay. They were still running some laps. And it gave us time to go get a beer. This was Saturday, which was another qualifying race. It was a lot of fun to watch. The tickets are cheaper than the actual race, which occurs on Sunday. So if you have the opportunity to go to a qualifying race, I definitely recommend it if you want to watch racing on a budget.
And it was very close. Oscar Piastri came up like second place, but really close behind Kylian Mbappé. Position in the classification. I was right that he finished P3 earlier on the time. The switch.
Next on the agenda was the Porsche Cup Race. This is their formation lap. The Porsche Cup was a lot of fun to watch. It's different than F1. These guys don't mind bumping into each other. They take corners at 3 wide. There's a ton of passing, some super aggressive driving. These cars were even louder than the F1 cars, so we definitely had to use some headphones. You can't go to Miami without checking out the Miami beaches. Luckily, there was one right across from the hotel. Once we walked out there, we quickly realized that we weren't missing a whole lot, so we headed back. The tickets for Friday and Saturday ran us about $600 total. The tickets to be at the race on Sunday were also about $600, so we chose to find a local bar and watch the race on the TV instead. That way we could see all of the action. We found a bar that had a lot of big TVs, including a huge one inside. They didn't mind putting the race on for us, so we started off with some beers outside, and then we moved the party inside. This was a great way to end the weekend. I'll definitely plan on going to see another F1 race. Thanks for watching.